So the New York Knicks have their best offensive rating since 1996-97. We're number one in terms of the league in that category. We're also averaging about 100 points just from our starting lineup alone, 97.8. Karl-Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson are both averaging over 25, and they're doing it on crazy high efficiency. Brunson's also averaging 7.7 assists, which is the best of his career. We have two All-NBA players on our roster right now. And then we've got Josh Hart and OG Anunoby both playing like all-stars. And you can't just discredit Miles McBride, who is averaging a career best 11.3 points per game. I think you can make a strong case that we have the least productive bench in basketball. Imagine if McBride wasn't on it. Now, we do have Precious Achiuwa, who might play tonight. By the time you're watching this, I'm sure it's out already. But at the time of me recording this, Achiuwa is questionable to play against the Hornets. We will be getting Mitchell Robinson back as well within the next month. It might be on Christmas against the Spurs. It might be early January 2025. Who really knows? But we're going to be getting two key reinforcements back. Actually, technically, we're going to be getting three, because once Landry Shamet is healthy, we're going to bring him back and then convert Matt Ryan to a two-way contract, assuming he clears waivers and accepts that, which I don't know why he wouldn't. I mean, being on this Knicks team seems like the best scenario for Ryan, because we already are the best three-point shooting team, or at least I would say we're top three. Statistically, we are, but just from the eye test, I think we're the best. We've got the best shooting center of all time. We've got Brunson, and that's with as well. Mikal Bridges struggling this entire season. The past two games, he's gotten it going, as you can see on the screen right there, or within the next couple of seconds, he's going to be knocking down a three ball right there from the corner. So we're in a great spot. We lead the league in free throw percentage. We're second behind the Cavs in field goal percentage and three-point efficiency. I'm not surprised at all. I knew that we were going to be either first, second, or third in three-point shooting. We're at 39.5%. We're nearly shooting 40% from three as a team. I mean, that's just ridiculous. We scored 71 points in the first half against the number one ranked defense in the Orlando Magic. We led by as many as 37 in the third quarter. And if I'm being completely honest, I know a lot of Knicks fans are going to disagree with this, but I think we actually sold on purpose against the Magic to avoid the Celtics making it. Josh Hart was asked after the game if he and the team knew that the Knicks, if they won by 37 or more, they'd have to play the Celtics ultimately. And he just kind of smirked and said, "Oh, absolutely not. We did not know that." And if I can find it, I'll put it on the screen because it was hilarious.
I know you hate the point differential stuff. Were you guys aware of the implications?
Were we aware that if we won by 37 or more, that we would have? No idea.
It made me laugh a lot. I feel like I don't laugh out loud a lot. I don't be watching memes and all that stuff. But when I saw that video of Hart, I mean, I just couldn't help but laugh. I mean, he's having an all-star type of season, like I said, playing the best basketball of his career. But it's just some of the things he says is just mind-boggling. For example, if the Knicks win the in-season tournament, each player gets $500,000. And Hart said he doesn't care about the guys at the bottom of the roster making the least amount of money. He just wants to get a new watch. And then Brunson called him an effing asshole. So this team, it's been a comedy show all season. OG Anunoby, remember when Brunson was named the team captain? He said, "Congratulations, Jalen." And you couldn't even see his face. He was at the airport. That video actually was explained by OG himself a couple of days ago. And then you've got Cat, whose personality fit the team so well. That's why I was excited the most about Cat, just because I feel like he meshed well with the rest of these guys. Not to say Randall and Devo didn't, but clearly that trade was one of the best in Knicks history. There's still a lot of time left. For all we know, Cat could fall off. But he's giving you, 25 and 13. He's actually leading the league in rebounds right now. Three-point efficiency, he's been unbelievably good. Defensively is going to be the thing with Cat. Rim protection has not been the greatest for the Knicks. We are giving up a lot of threes, but that's not what Cat is known for. He's never been known for his defense, and he was averaging about 8 rebounds per game coming into this year. Now he's giving you 13. So he's doing all the right things. Precious and Mitch will help our defense. Right now, we are the 21st defense in basketball. We're the number one ranked offense. Can you win a championship being the best offense and the 21st ranked defense? Probably not. I'm sure it's happened. There's been several teams who have been elite offensively and not great defensively that have won. But I feel like in today's basketball, you need to be elite defensively. The Warriors were elite defensively. The Nuggets were elite defensively. Certainly the Celtics were elite defensively, top 5 in both. The Thunder and the Celtics were favorited to win the championship coming into the season. We were right up there as well. But the Thunder, elite defensively, elite offensively. The Knicks last season were elite defensively, and then offensively we're a top 10 team, but we never got into that top 5 of both. So this year we're trying to do that. There's a lot of time left. We're getting healthier. We're building more chemistry, and I'm all here for it, man. It's going to be a lot of fun. But in terms of what's next for the Knicks, this is the most beautiful thing because we have a lot of ground to cover. I think we're like 4.5 out of Boston, maybe like 6 games, 6.5 games out of the Cavs. We play Charlotte, Detroit, Toronto, Atlanta, Minnesota, New Orleans, and Toronto next. I mean, that right there is 7 games against teams we're going to be favored against. The most difficult game on there is going to be at Minnesota on TNT. Randall and Debo certainly are going to give it their all. The Timberwolves did blow out the Clippers last night, but I just don't think they're the best team, and I wouldn't be surprised if they end up just blowing things up. I know it's tough to think that because they went to the Western Conference Finals last year and nearly beat the Mavericks, but it doesn't seem like it's working. And for the Knicks, we got up to a slow start, but I don't think anyone was actually panicking. Maybe there were some Knicks fans regretting the trade, but in terms of panicking and thinking we can't win at all, I mean, that would have just been ridiculous with Brunson and Cat on this roster and Mikal and OG. And now they're starting to finally get it going. So getting healthy, Mikal Bridges, if he keeps this up, the Knicks are going to be unbeatable. And this reminds me of that stretch back in January of this year. I almost said last year because we're getting closer to 2025. It reminds me of that stretch where we just got hot and we're blowing teams out. Now, the difference was we were blowing out good teams. These are bad teams. But still, we need to start winning these games and covering some ground. Seeding isn't going to be the most important thing. It's always going to be health, especially for a team like the Knicks. But if you can get a top seed and avoid Boston until the Eastern Conference Finals, that's going to be the best case for the Knicks. Now, you can also make the argument that, hey, look, playing Boston in the first round would actually be the best thing because the Knicks are more than likely going to be the healthiest then. But in order for the Knicks to play Boston in the first round, we'd have to be probably the 7th or the 8th seed. And if we're the 7th or the 8th seed, that means that something bad really happened. So I'd rather just get up to the number 2 or 1 seed, and then Celtics can have 1 or 2. They'd have home court. But I don't actually mind the Knicks going on the road, if I'm being honest. I don't think it's going to be the biggest difference of the Knicks being at home or on the road, unless it's a Game 7. Then yes, absolutely having the crowd behind you is going to help. Because you think of the Pacers-Knicks game, that game, towards the half, it actually got close. It was a blowout, but we actually almost came back, and we should never have even been in that game with just all the injuries, but the home crowd was just enough juice to get the Knicks going. So I do think it matters, but in the grand scheme of things, if the Knicks are fully healthy on the road, Game 7 against the Celtics, that's a coin flip to me, right? I think honestly I'd like our odds in that. But if we're at home and let's say we're in a Game 7, but we're just banged out, like I'd rather just be healthy. So getting up to the number 2 or 1 seed isn't the biggest deal. But ideally speaking, that's what we want, is being healthy and getting a high seed too. Because the Knicks are also a younger team. I mean, you look at Cat, he's 29, Brunson's 28, Hart's 29, OG's like 27. So everyone on our team is under 30. I think Campaign's 30. So everyone but Campaign is under 30. Landry Shamet is like 27, 26 when he comes back. So we have a very, I'm not going to say it's not the youngest team in the league, right? It's not the Detroit Pistons or anything like that. We've got a team that it's guys that are either in their prime or entering their prime. So yeah, I'm excited, man. I'll keep you guys updated. We'll have a video, win or loss, after the Hornets game tonight. No LaMelo, no Grant Williams. They have a couple of guys out. So we've got to win this game. I don't even care if we win it big. We just need to win it. We could win by 1 point like we did last time against the Hornets. Just win the damn game.